There is a new sheriff in town. It's time to put the Gaahleri Aventus to the test. See what this airbrush is capable of, and decide if it will be worthy of a place on my wall. Is the Aventus delivering what Gaahleri has promised? A premium, detailed airbrush, deserving of standing alongside the most established premium competitors. Let's find out, shall we? Like many of you, I ordered the tailored version of the Aventus, but to evaluate a tool properly, especially at this price point, one sample is not enough. So I also purchased two regular versions, the Black Aurora and the Barbatos Rex. Now, I'm not going to do an unboxing and go through everything these tools come with. Plenty of those videos like that already. And let's be honest, that is not the reason why you are here. You are here because you want to understand these airbrushes' performance, construction, consistency, and the engineering that defines how they behave. And so do I. Before we get into each model individually, let's establish the technical foundation behind them. The Aventus ships with two nozzle sets, labeled 0.2 and 0.4. These labels are nominal and do not correspond to the actual measurements. Across my three airbrushes, two of the 0.2 nozzles measures 0.27 and 1.26 mm. The associated hair cap holes measure 0.71, 0.72 and 0.73 mm. These numbers place the Aventus in the territory of a capable detail airbrush, like an Evolution 2024 or a Sotar 2020. A +1 -1 manufacturing variance is an acceptable standard. Nevertheless, the 0.4 shows a different story. Its nozzle bores measure 0.42, 0.46 and 0.48 mm. This spread is wide enough that we should expect different spray behavior between these units. Air velocity was measured using an anemometer at a distance of 5 inches and 25 psi. The 0.2 averaged 5.1 meters per second, the 0.4 averaged 6.0 meters per second. These values place the Aventus in the same general performance range again as tools like the Sotar or Infinity for detail, or the Mobius 03 for general use. Before continuing, we should acknowledge one shared positive. All three Aventus units atomize the paint very well. A fine mist is easy for them, even at low PSI, especially with the 0.2. However, my pre-World War II Wall Day 1 atomizes paint very beautifully. My $15 Hobby Mio I got on AliExpress a while ago also atomizes paint very well. Good atomization is the minimum standard, not a marker of excellence. Atomization is where an airbrush begins, not where it ends. So, if all you need the Aventus for is distant codes to a model or a vehicle, the Aventus will likely satisfy you. But if you want to evaluate whether these tools justify their price, if you care about consistency, machining, and detail work, then it's time to take a deeper look. Let me make something very clear. I want this airbrush to work well. I want to enjoy the tools I review. My objective is not to tear down, but to understand, evaluate, and present my findings honestly. With that intention, let's begin with the strongest of the three. The good. The Black Aurora immediately stands out. The finish is modern, elegant, and visually striking. Ergonomically, the angled air valve on such a compact airbrush takes a moment to get used to, more so than on larger Creos. But it's something you can adapt to. The needle chuck keeps getting stuck randomly. Apparently, this is very common. Not a good start. In use, The Aurora is the best performing Aventus I received. Line consistency is good, paint management is stable, the overall experience is smooth enough and predictable. However, it lacks the refined paint initiation you find in Japanese or German airbrushes. And the reason becomes clear under Magnification. The nozzle's wall at the tip is quite thick. This is very common among airbrushes manufactured in China. In airbrush engineering, the thinner the wall is, the more precisely it conforms to the needle, and the more refined the paint release becomes. Thicker walls reduce manufacturing error and increase pass rates, but they also reduce finesse. Let's look at the Aventus nozzle under Magnification and let's compare it to an Iwata HPBH. We can clearly see how much thinner those walls are on the Japanese brush. Look at this GSI Krios PS270, same manufacturing precision. You can get this one for around $80. This Olympus SP must be at least 40 years old and still back then they were capable to do it. Now have a look at this Taiwanese MadWorks Max 01. As far as I know, the smallest nozzle you can find in the market today. And look at it. Look how fine and evenly shaped those walls are. Taiwanese manufacturing has seriously reached high standards. This is just to emphasize that while the nozzle of the Aventus works, there is definitely still room for improvement. Because if you charge me premium price, I expect premium performance. In the current state, I will not choose this airbrush over a Mobius 02 equipped with the upgraded PS771 needle. Once upgraded, the Mobius delivers superior atomization, paint initiation, control, paint flow management, and the overall machining quality is just superior in my opinion. And we haven't looked at the other two Aventus yet. The 0.4 set on the Aurora performs acceptably and is suitable for priming and base coating. Definitely not the most responsive airbrush, but it will do the job adequately. However, it lacks the intuitiveness and precision of other competitors in the same range, like the H&S Evolution 2024. Before we continue, if you are an airbrush enthusiast, one of the few who thinks about these tools more than most people think is reasonable, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. You'll gain access to our Airbrush Acquisition Disorder Discord community, where discussions about airbrushes, engineering, techniques, and history continue around the clock. If this world feels like home to you, you'll fit right in. Now let's move on. The bad. The Tailor-Made Aventus I received is visually appealing. I ordered a full crimson red custom version, complete with my name on the side. The airbrush looks great. However, the font on my personalized engraving was not the one I selected. It appears the Gaahleri could not consistently replicate the Aventus font for custom names, so they changed the font for everyone without contacting customers. While not a major issue in itself, when you pay premium prices for customization, you expect your choices to be honored or at least communicated. As a former tailor myself, I will never alter a client custom order without notifying them. The airbrush also suffers from the same needle chuck sticking issues as the black Aurora. It happens randomly, unpredictably, and more often on the Tailor-Made. Many users have reported this across different units. I'm not removing the rear spring assembly because several customers have damaged the threads while attempting to remove it, due to cross-threading from the factory. And if it happens to me, it will not allow me to finalize this review. Therefore, I will attempt that on a later occasion. Now, performance. The 0.2 setup on the Tailor-Made Aventus performs very poorly. Paint initiation is extremely slow. I need to pull the trigger much further back before anything happens. And when the paint does begin to flow, it is abrupt and inconsistent. The lines are full of interruptions. Even after cleaning, the 0.2 setup on the Tailor-Made Aventus consistently skips at the start of every line. Paint appears, disappears, and then returns. Something is fundamentally wrong internally. Upon inspection under magnification, we can clearly see that the Tailor-Made Aventus uses a dual taper needle. Unlike the single taper needle found in the black Aurora, this needle geometry does not belong in this airbrush and contributes directly to the delay and unstable paint initiation. As you can see, all three of my Aventus airbrushes show different geometries, which explain why they all spray so differently. So why would Gaahleri install a different needle on my Tailor-Made Aventus? I don't know, but let's move on. The 0.4 setup suffers from a different issue. The nozzle inside the nozzle cap is not secure. It wobbles. This means that every time the needle moves, the nozzle shifts position slightly. Air turbulence causes additional movement. The result is heavily inconsistent spray behavior. This nozzle and nozzle cap were poorly matched. This is where quality control should come in play. Before leaving the tailor-made unit behind, there is something important to address. The test card Gaahleri included with this airbrush already shows inconsistent performance, not subtle poor performance, clearly intermittent lines. Several other users have received test cards with similar results, or worse. Even in Gaahlerie's own promotional video, the spray test appears inconsistent if you pause the frame and examine the card. This raises a serious concern. These units are tested, the poor performance is visible, and yet they are still shipped out. Why would Gaahleri do this? I don't know, but here is a piece of my advertising. Let me introduce you the RICHPEN 222B Phoenix. The legendary Phoenix has risen again, renewed. The pinnacle of precision, finesse, identity. The RICHPEN 222B Phoenix is available starting today. Just follow the link on the description below. And now it's time to talk the last one of the trio. The Out-of-Spec. Aesthetically, this is my favorite design of the three. The gold accents are beautiful and give the airbrush a distinct presence. In performance, the 0.2 setup is capable of producing fine and consistent lines. That's the good part. The challenge is that paint initiation is extremely slow. Unlike the Tailor-Made Aventus, the needle here looks appropriate, although slightly shorter than the one on the Aurora. The real issue becomes obvious when we examine the nozzle under magnification. The nozzle protrudes significantly more than it should from the nozzle cap. In airbrushing engineering, small geometric changes can produce significant performance consequences. With the nozzle extending too far forward, the aerodynamics change. The airflow takes longer to catch the paint coming off the needle, resulting in delayed initiation. This nozzle is out of spec. The 0.4 setup is even worse. The airbrush releases paint without me pulling back the needle. Resetting the needle does nothing. Paint begins flowing simply by pressing down for air. Remember when early on I showed you the huge spread of the 0.4 measurements? Examining the nozzle under magnification reveals the problem. The nozzle is so enlarged that the needle cannot create a seal. There is a visible gap between the needle and nozzle wall that constantly leaks paint. This setup is also completely out of spec and unusable. So let's wrap this up. This is the reason why I purchased 3 Aventus airbrushes. To assess consistency. I'm not happy with the results. With the Mobius, I was forgiving of early quality control issues because it was a $60–70 airbrush. But the Aventus is being sold at a premium price. Harder Steinbeck and Iwata territory. Asking for $280 plus tax for a tailor-made Aventus that performs like this is unforgivable. You want to manufacture airbrushes in China for cheap labor and production, hoping to make huge margins by charging premium prices. Fine, I get that. However, premium pricing requires premium consistency. Instead, we saw different needles, different nozzle geometries, variance in machining, out-of-spec components, delayed performance, and serious assembly issues. For many people, this price represents a significant portion of their income. They work long hours, save carefully, and hope a premium tool will help them create the art they envision. What they receive should reflect that trust. The Aventus in its current state does not. I enjoy the study of these tools. I enjoy understanding their engineering and diagnosing their behavior, but this evaluation pushed far beyond what should be necessary. Still, it taught us a great deal. If an airbrush engineering degree existed, this experience would qualify as a semester worth of material to analyze. Thank you for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like and subscribe. And join me in the pursuit to become the fastest airbrush slinger in the West.